A simple rule of life is if you keep searching for yourself outside of yourself, you're never going to discover who you are. That sounds really batty, doesn't it? Right? It does, but it is a process that's very deeply connected to Ardra Nakshatra. Ardra means fresh, and it relates to the, freshness of the morning dew. And one of the things that it really deeply relates to is after we, go through a difficult emotional time, right? Like when we're working hard for something, we sweat and then we're rewarded with the fruits of our labors. Or when we really want something or we really care about someone and then we don't get it or that person disappears, sometimes we go through a grief process and those tears cleanse and they rejuvenate for us. Now, if you've been watching this series on the nakshatras, you'll remember with Mrigashira Nakshatra, we were talking about how the soul on its journey from what we could call cosmic ideation, right? Kind of being a spark that's coming into being, reached the point with Mrigashira Nakshatra where it was beginning to become separated from the thing that nourished it, nourishment too. Okay, we make up language here. And so then it's beginning to kind of go through the feeling of, well, how am I going to get the nourishment that I need? And it begins to seek for it everywhere, sensing that those resources are dwindling. That's Mrigashira Nakshatra. We're going to talk about that part of the process that happens with Ardra. But first, if you'd like to know a little bit of information about the nakshatras in your own horoscope, or if you just need help with something in your life, I do offer several different levels of astrological service. You should find a link to my services page above if you're watching this on YouTube. Anywhere else, you'll see it down in the lower section. So when we sense that those resources are dwindling, we begin to latch on to those things that we think are going to provide us with a sense of security or stability, to the extent that because we really desire that, that feeling of, of nourishment on an emotional level, we identify with that thing. We're kind of searching for lost parts of ourselves so that we can feel comfortable within our skin, for lack of a better way to say it. And so we latch on to these things, these experiences, go after things in our life that we think are going to bring us fulfillment. For example, if this is about career, you might pursue success to the extent that you may potentially exhaust yourself and then recognize that you're doing that and go, I need to take a different path. If it's about relationships, you might do the same thing. Some people are passionate about their children and will give anything in the world for them, but then recognize that what they're teaching their children isn't really something about fulfillment in their own lives, right? And so Ardra can play out in a variety of ways connected with this, usually dealing with the concept of becoming identified with that thing that we're pursuing until we recognize that that thing that we're identifying with is not us because, as I said at the beginning, you're not out there, you're in here. And so Ardra takes us through those processes with whatever might be in it of attachment and identification, and then recognizing through not really finding the fulfillment that we want, that the fulfillment isn't going to come from that because the only fulfillment is going to come from within until we go through an emotional process, purge those emotions, and have a bit of an awakening and a refreshment of awareness. Hence the word fresh with Ardra Nakshatra. As I mentioned before, if you'd like to know more about the nakshatras in your own horoscope, or just want to know about anything else, you can schedule an astrological service with me through the link above if you're watching this on YouTube. Anywhere else, you'll see the link further down in the section. I'll talk to you the next time with Punarvasu Nakshatra. Take care. Bye now.